What is up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the Kevin 24/7 channel after a huge amount of downtime. Right now I want to talk about that thing behind me. That is a 2016 Indian Chief Dark Horse, and it is the latest addition to my motorcycle collection. I am 4 strong now. And I never thought I would own this bike. Literally never ever in a million years. I would have bet all my life savings that I would never own something like this. The reason I have this bike is because I traded a vehicle that's very famous to the channel, plus a whole lot of cash, to be fair. I would have never spent my hard-earned cash on something like this, but I gotta say it's growing on me. This is not a Harley Davidson. Obviously, it says Indian right on the side. This is not a Harley Davidson look-alike, and even though this competes with Harley Davidson, I don't think this is really even a Harley Davidson competitor. If you look at this thing, I have never seen a Harley that looks anything like this, at least not built in this century. These wide, just absolutely massive fenders are, I think, the what really set this bike off. And all this is metal, by the way. That may not shock a lot of cruiser riders, but it's shocking for me, someone who's owned plastic-bodied machines forever. It's very different. The Indian head on the front fender, how cool is that? It actually lights up while you're riding, and it's very visible at night. The mirrors kind of look like Indian feathers. I love that. But it's not to the point where it's tacky, right? They didn't make like wispy mirrors that were spiky and no. I think that would be below Indian. Flames on a bike would be below Indian. I've never considered myself to be like, I don't know what the word is, like a greasy, dirty biker, right? And this bike doesn't try to make you into that, right? You would look stupid riding this with a sleeveless leather vest and a motorcycle chain belt. You would look absolutely stupid. That would mean you completely missed the point of this bike. No. You would look a lot better on this in a full 3-piece suit. And not in a hipster way. I think just in a, hardened businessman kind of way. I think that's what this bike kind of reminds me of, at least me personally. Or maybe a rich sort of Western person, like Richard Petty, I think would look right at home on this bike. Now, I'm not trying to pretend to be any of those things, but I can at least relate a little more of those things than someone who is in a biker gang, right? Has a tassel hanging off the side that they whip people with because you don't take nothing from no one. I'm not trying to be that guy. That is not badass, because it is, but it's a whole different kind of badass. This is old Cadillac badass, not, hot rod T-bucket badass, if that makes sense. And my video is probably instantly demonetized for saying badass. You can't do a cruiser video without saying that, right? It's got removable backrests for both passenger and rider. That's really cool. That one is superb. I love it. Good lumbar support. My girlfriend loves riding back there, and she is not a fan of riding on motorcycles, I can tell you that, but she is now. Beautiful speedometer that looks like it's on old paper. It looks like it should be written in cursive. I love that. Fake fuel cap, real fuel cap. Huge bars. You got cruise control. You got all the standard motorcycle controls. You got your brights, you got your super loud horn. Nothing really you don't need, though. It doesn't have a big bat wing fairing, right? When you ride this motorcycle, you are riding a motorcycle. You're not riding a car on the road. And it's got a massive 1700cc Thunderstroke motor that makes about 120 foot-pounds of torque and 75 to 85 horsepower. It's not really confirmed because they don't list the horsepower, probably because they're a little embarrassed about it. But the torque, I mean, come on, 120 foot-pounds on a stock motor. That's amazing. So I'm going to get on it, fire it up, and we're going to go for a little ride. Listen to this thing purr. I mean, come on. I did a 0 to 60 test. I think now is probably a good time to throw that up. I don't do this stuff on public roads. This is essentially a parking lot. I'm gonna do a 0 to 60 test. Let's see what this thing can do. Once again, nobody around. I just gotta be careful here because there's, you know, people on YouTube who will try and get you in trouble with the law. This is a parking lot, literally. I mean, there's no speed limits posted, nothing like that. So we're gonna do a 0 to 60 as best as I can do it. This is a real world 0 to 60 for your average rider. I've done track days, stuff like that, so I kind of know what I'm doing. Let's see what we can do. There. Alright, that was my first try. But anyway, it's not slow. I can tell you that from a guy who's only ridden, you know, sport bikes and supermotos his whole life, and my sport touring bike. It's not slow, I promise you. It ain't no Ninja H2, but it's enough for me to enjoy it and have fun. This motor is just such a peach, man. Once again, it ain't no, you know, 1000cc hopped up sport bike motor, but that's not the point of it. The point of it is not for you to say, oh, I beat a sport bike on my Indian. That is literally, if you talk like that with any big cruiser V-twin, you were missing the point. The point is you can take it apart in your garage, rebuild it if you have some skill, and it's so low strung, so low RPM, the tolerances are so not tight that it'll literally last probably longer than you have the bike. And if you don't, you can rebuild it yourself. The lean angle for a cruiser is really good. I don't know what it is officially. And just listen to that sound, man. Gosh, it sounds good. It's different than a Harley, right? Harleys are very tinny and raspy, and these are fighting words, but I don't really like the sound of a Harley that much. You know, I've ridden a few, I've heard them. I guess because I started in the metric world, I'm not in love of the quote-unquote rawness of a Harley Davidson, especially one with a really loud exhaust. Let's do the cruise control. Beautiful. This bike rides so smooth. I mean, it literally no hands on the bar. I can probably go around this corner just by leaning it. Let's see, I'll grab the bars if it gets too spicy. But I bet I can make this corner just by, yep, leaning over. Oh, we're going in the bicycle lane a little bit. Oh, no, we kept out. Can we lean over this way? Okay, didn't quite make that corner. But it is such a good handling bike. The thumps are like a machine gun. They're spaced so perfectly apart even when it's idling. It reminds me of an Indian banging on one of those big deep drums, whatever they're called, not gongs, but you know, the big tribal drums. Boom, 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 boom. That's exactly what it sounds like when it's idling. It's very cool, you know. It's not that that you get with the Harley, not at all. So if you want that, this is not the bike for you. But if you're like me and you like to hear something that just sounds so silky and nice, this is more for you. The brakes are pretty dang good too. You really can't complain about the brakes. Listen to that idle. Wow. I'm not making many friends in this video. It does not handle like you see Harley riders ride at slow speed. At least on the big baggers. Hey buddy. You know, as you can see, I'm not like going, whoa, whoa, I'm gonna tip over, whoa. I can practically ride it like a Honda Grom. And I had a Grom. Super easy. I don't know where I'm going, guys. But here, let's go around this roundabout. I'm gonna go around this as slow as possible. Oh, I got spectators. I'll go around it at normal speeds because I don't want them to think I'm a goon. Right? It just gracefully went right around that roundabout. Yeah, so pros. The styling, obviously. I mean, just look at the thing. When have you seen a cruiser that looks like a freaking locomotive on the front end, right? I mean, seriously, look at the thing. I'm sorry, Harley, but you just don't have any bikes that look this cool, in my opinion. Maybe because I'm used to seeing so many Harleys. Maybe that's the uniqueness that makes me think it looks so cool. The comfort. It's an insanely comfortable bike. That seat is something else. The foot pads or whatever. I'm still not used to cruiser terms. The floorboards, really great. Really, really like them. It's comfortable for the passenger. Huge plus. It is. It's just the right level of loud. It's not obnoxious. This isn't a bike you ride to the bar on a Saturday, you know, and then park in your garage and only put 100 miles on it a year. This is a bike you ride across the country, right? It is that comfortable, even without the wind protection, I would say. Yeah, I mean, the torque, you know, normal cruiser things obviously are big pros. It's something different. The cons. There's no storage. As you can see, I have a backpack kind of rigged up to this passenger seat / sissy bar. So, you know, not exactly, it's kind of funny on a bike that weighs almost 700 pounds that you don't have any storage. That's not the point of this bike, but there's no storage other than what's the little bit under the seat. 2, like I said, no wind protection. Is not bad right now in the summer. I could see that being a pain in the winter and the fall. I don't know if you saw that. I just cannon spit like a good 3 feet there out of my mouth through my helmet. And you know, one of the cons is honestly it's not a Harley. You're not going to have that dealer support like you would with the Harley. Indian dealerships versus Harley dealerships, there's probably 1,000 Harley dealerships for every Indian dealership. So, you know, if that's a big concern for you, that's going to be a drawback for any Indian, not just this one. Yeah, and I mean, I can't really think of any other bad things about it. The motor's not as modifiable as a lot of the Harley motors. You know, you kind of get what you get. There are some things you can do to it, but it's not extremely modifiable. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments of this big, beautiful beast. I'll tell you more about what's going on with the Humvee later. I hope you liked the video. I hope you, you know, can send me some questions and stuff. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you would like to. And God bless. Goodbye.